Force Losers Podcast with Brad and Kev.
Hey!
Hey.
I'm trying to be animated because I spent all day in the sun swimming.
Oh,
So-
you slamming.
I was
Spent all day in
paddling.
the sun working.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Stupid fucking
job.
jobs. Oh wow! I dropped an F-bomb 2 seconds in. That's cool.
As long as it's not
Hey.
excessive.
Hey, there goes that monetization. Hey. No, yeah. I was just telling you, the thing that I can't stand is after you've been swimming all day, like your skin's so dry, and it's just it feels
It's
gross.
the
no
chlorine
matter how
dries
much-
you out. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I did get nice and toasty though. I should be once
Toasty
the-
how?
like well, no, not that way. I actually forgot
Okay.
my stuff. But just being in the sun, like I should be bronzed, man.
Should
need to
be
get that-
bronzed.
I gotta get that healthy bronze. I gotta get that taken care of before I go to the coast in a few weeks.
God. When are you
Before I
what
just
are you
get
going to
royally burnt.
in December? For like is
No,
that your
we're-
Christmas trip or
No, we're not doing any big trip this year. We're just going to the coast in about a week and a half with my family for a few days.
oh nice.
Yeah, we're not doing any big trips this year. Yeah, the economy, stupid. No, we're doing the coast trip just because it's accessible. We're going to Dallas for a few days in August to go see Metallica, and that's it. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. No fancy flying trips, no destinations, and it sucks. It sucks because, like, you know me, and traveling is my thing. I like getting out in
Yeah.
the world and checking it out. But we're broke, so I can't. It's great.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Life's a bitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Everyone
Oops.
says life's a bitch and then you die. I'm really waiting for the die part. Like, I am that type of millennial personified. Like, like I'm not actively seeking death. I'm just not worried if it hits me.
It's fair.
Like if we had a comet scenario tomorrow where they're like, oh yeah, it's hitting, I'd be the first one up on my rooftop, Lieutenant Danning it, like, you call this a storm? Let's go.
yeah.
Sweet oblivion. But I'm not, don't worry, everyone. I'm fine. I am not going to go grab a toaster and have a spicy bath bomb. Okay.
Spicy bath bomb.
Yeah. That's a me and Boop from Nerd Herder thing. Spicy bath bombs.
God. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So
It's been a while.
don't worry, everyone. I'm fine. Kind of. Mostly.
Boop, we miss you.
Somewhat. Yes, we do. Their show's back though.
Oh, I didn't know they take a break?
Oh, yeah. They took a small break, but they're back. They're back.
Okay.
Actually, tomorrow night, folks, if you're so inclined, go check out our friends over at Nerd Herder. Hey, tell them Kev sent you. They don't need my help promoting.
No, no, they don't.
No.
Just like, God, you need their help. Fucking damn it. Need to get back in the mode. I'm so aggravated from work today.
I know,
Oh
I
my
could tell.
goodness.
I can tell.
All
I
right.
can tell.
Hmm.
I can tell.
It's like
I'm
I've-
telling you, like, have you gotten that moment yet? That moment where you sit for a second and you think and you realize that this frustrating day you had right now,
Mhm.
it will never end.
I know.
We will be doing this. Like, I'm under no illusions. Our generation, buddy, we don't get to retire.
No,
Like, we're not going to
God,
retire.
no.
So, like, this is it. This is it until I fall over dead.
Yeah. No, we're the generation where it's like the retirement has just like all gone away. We're never not going to be working.
Well, we are the generation that got to watch everyone pull the ladder up behind them and be like, "Hey, man, what the hell?" Like, so
Pretty much.
there's your nightly dose of nihilism, folks. We are in a chipper way tonight, man.
I know.
Well, it fits. It fits given what we're about to talk about. There's
That's
not
true.
a whole lot of optimistic.
That's fair.
stuff.
That is very fair.
Yeah, given the subject matter of tonight's show. But this is actually an interesting show tonight. It is actually an interesting show because pretty much for the most part, after this, we're kind of caught up on the big stuff, you know, and we kind of get to catch up with more recent
Witcher,
things.
The first half of Witcher season 3 dropped.
I need to watch that.
And it's the last season with Henry Cavill.
That's why I don't know if I want to watch it.
Why?
Because I
watch
love
the
Henry
first
Cavill.
4 seasons. You know what I will say? Watch the first season.
Yeah, I know. I did.
Okay, you did.
I did. I've watched season 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I love The Witcher. It's great.
Yes.
Like any kind of like cool fantasy, man. I'm into it. But the thing is, like, it's also hard to watch it considering like why he left.
Yeah.
You know, like given that.
Well, and I mean, like anyone who's played the Witcher games or read the books, like when you start watching season 3, I've heard like you can kind of see the difference in the characters, and you can see why Cavill left.
Well, yeah, that's what I understand. That's kind of why I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch it. Plus, here's the thing. Like the digital Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just came out yesterday, right? I've yet to watch it. And it's not because I don't want to. It's not because I really don't want to see Guardians. I really do. But the problem is, I have been neck deep in a show hole for the last week and a half. I've been watching the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles series thing, and because you did not know this?
No, I didn't know that there was a Young Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah, it's from the 90s.
Oh, is it like a cartoon?
No,
or is it live action?
No, it's a live action. It's a live action. Each episode is an hour and a half long. It's a lot. It's a bear. It is a bear. And it basically follows Indy from when he was like 9 until he was a teenager and stuff. It's a bear to get into. Like, I cannot deviate from it until I finish it. I have to finish this series before I can check anything else out. Right? So every spare moment I have, if I'm eating lunch, if I'm eating dinner, if I'm getting toasty in the gay rise there, I'm watching that series because I have to finish it. Like, I really want to see Guardians, Brad. I really do, but my brain will not let me until I finish the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
You don't want to see Guardians 3. It's going to be sad.
I'm okay with that. Life is sad. Bring on more sad.
No, less sad. I'm tired of sad.
Well, you know what? It's another dose of nihilism, folks. It's all there is. Every time I say something bleak and nihilistic, just hit the Benny Hill theme. Good
Lord. I need a soundboard. I want a soundboard where I can just hit
ready for that?
I just want to be able to hit buttons and have a sound play.
Is that what we're ready to do? We're ready to jump into soundboards.
I think so. We've been doing this for a while. It's episode 99.
It is. We're one away from 100, man.
We are. 1 away from 100. And like we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
It's a few months.
Years.
Yeah. So yeah,
6 years, 100 episodes. Well, we've done more than 100. This is just 100 episode of the the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast proper. So yeah, I mean, hey, I know we've talked about something to do for episode 100. I can't remember anything because
I think what we settled on was having friends, like anyone who like is within the sphere, like just get them like lined up and have them come on.
Oh, just that's right. We wanted to do like a hangout,
do like a hangout, or like let people bring the subjects to us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to do that. It's really hard to orchestrate that now.
Yeah,
it's really hard to orchestrate that.
I suggested we do what was it? Pokegirl Smash or Pass.
Oh yeah. Pokemon Smash or Pass.
Well, it's Pokemon, but the Pokemon have girl personas, so it's not like we're not fucking Pokemon. We're fucking the girls that look like Pokemon.
Oh, okay. We'll have to think about that one because here we are trying to watch our language, and you're like, check out this hot Pikachu.
I mean, you
Pika.
Oh God,
ma'am.
See, I love the fact that like that's probably the only Pokemon you know.
Charmander.
Oh, he knows the
Bulbasaur,
stars.
Snorlax, Mewtwo. Was it Abracadabra? Isn't that one of them? Alakazam. Close. I was in the ballpark.
Abracadabra.
What is it? What's that buff one?
The one with 4 arms?
Yeah.
Machamp?
Machamp. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. I may not be a learned scholar in the ways of Pokemon, but I know a few. Like I was around when I had Pokemon cards when it was all the rage.
I still do actually. They're right here.
Yeah. The only thing from childhood that I have is a box full of Star Wars toys from the Phantom Menace era. That's an impressive amount of cards, my friend.
Not really. My Yu-Gi-Oh collection is a lot more substantial.
I remember that. What was it? It was Pokemon first, right? That was kind of the first big thing.
Digimon.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh was after that.
Digimon was between them.
Wait, I'm talking about. Did Digimon have cards?
Yeah, Digimon had cards.
Oh, did it? God, there was a whole moment there where it was all about card games. It was like a whole minute.
Well, now it's all about tabletop games, and it's all targeted at the same people.
Hey, you know what? I'm not into that realm of geekdom, but Magic the Gathering put out those Lord of the Rings decks, and those things looked amazing.
They do, and I think we talked about the One Ring. There's a certain copy of the One Ring card that they put out there, like the bounty for it's like $1 billion.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. I didn't know that. All I knew about those cards.
It's like a first edition, and like something else about it is special of the One Ring, and they only did the one.
Oh, so that's why it's going. What? Okay. $1 billion though.
Yeah, they don't care. Like I think like the grade of the card doesn't even matter. It doesn't even have to be. Do you know what that means? It doesn't even have to be like a perfect 10 out of 10 grade card. Just finding the card is like people want it found.
Yeah, you know what that means though? If it is going for $1 billion, and it's on the market, that means there's only 2,600 people in the entire world that can buy that card.
Well, that's once someone finds it because it's in the regular packs.
Oh, so it hasn't been found yet.
No, but like that's the thing. Like the bounty for the card is like $1 billion. Whoever finds the card in a regular fucking pack of cards, like you buy a regular pack of cards, but if you find this specific version of the One Ring, you get $1 billion.
You know what I'm doing? If I find it, I'm burning it. I'm burning it and I'm throwing that stuff on TikTok just to piss people off. To piss them off. Like, oh, is this worth $1 billion? Not any fucking more. It's ashes. Oh god, that would be delicious.
It might be million. I don't know the exact bounty. I just know it's a ridiculous amount of money.
I don't care. If it's that much money for a damn card, I'm burning it on a TikTok live. And I'm gonna do it with my pants on my ankles. I don't care. Like I'm sorry. Because especially here's why. It's not just like anarchy, and it's not just that, but it's like the only prospective buyers of that card would be within a very exactly. They're not even the 1%, man. That's like the 0.1% of the 1%. And just to piss on their parade, snicked, done, suck it.
Have you actually heard about that trend?
Of what?
So you know how like Pokemon card openings have become like a big thing again?
I had not known that. That is news to me.
Opening Pokemon cards is like a big thing for like YouTubers or like enthusiasts now. Like to the point where like you can get, I think like people are buying like Japanese versions of like, but like they're buying them by like the box. So there's like 30 packs of cards in a box.
Right.
They're buying like boxes of like packs in Japanese for like $1,000.
What?
And it's but the reason behind, like, I mean, like some of the older packs will go for that much, but like,
yeah,
I think like I forget where I heard the pricing, but like a box of like original packs of cards, like the original 151, like when the show first came out and everything, boxes of those are selling for like $10,000.
That pisses me off something fierce.
But it's because like they had us like I think either people saved them or like the company found like a surplus of them.
Yeah.
And so like but like at this point those packs like the packs that are like in the boxes are like so rare to find now that
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous. And like there's this thing where when like because the whole thing you want to do with these packs is the fourth I want to say it's like the fourth card from the back. So like when you open it up, you want to take like the back 3 cards and put them up front.
Right.
The that like people found out like which card is like the rare one is like the rarest one in the pack because there is a system. And like what they'll do is they'll do card openings and like they show the rarest card and like if it's worth any money, they put it in a card sleeve. And then they get it graded. And once it comes back as graded, they can sell it, they can like keep it or whatever they want to do with it. But it's essentially like it's essentially gambling.
Okay. Yeah, just go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Just go to Vegas.
But
like it's there's better things. You can do actual gambling. You can lose just as much money.
You could probably lose less money.
Yeah, and you can probably buy like a little baggie of Coke off of somebody next to the Bellagio fountains. I mean, come on.
Probably.
Just go to Vegas.
But there's this thing where like they call it's bending a pack, like if they bend the pack of cards before they open it, so they don't know what cards they just ruined on their grading. And like yeah. And like people like they do this on streams and like people will send them money to watch them like bend packs of cards and like find out what cards they just ruined.
Wow, we are literally that we are a society without hope. We're just a society of just some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yes. I mean, thank you, internet.
I guess, man. I guess. Remember when you were just pirating music?
Yes. Oh,
yeah. You remember
LimeWire? LimeWire was it?
Yeah. Do you remember when the internet was mostly just like pirating music and message boards?
Yeah.
Do you remember the message board days? Oh man,
I still go to message boards.
Really?
I still 4chan, baby.
Oh no, I wouldn't touch 4chan with a 10-foot pole.
You got to know what to avoid on 4chan.
No, because a friend of mine got QAnon because of 4chan, and you know the one I'm talking about. I'm not gonna name drop on the live, but yeah, I had a guy that I worked with.
The psychotic one or the laid back one?
Oh, you're gonna have to be far more specific.
The little one or the big one?
No, not those two. None of those two. This is someone I used to work with at the other company. Yeah, he was QAnon. Like, oh yeah, no, the phone conversations between he and I were spectacular because like it's anyone else
it's not C.
No,
is it someone that I met?
You knew him
because now you've got me. Yes. Now you've got me tickled.
I'll tell you after the stream. I just don't want to.
All right.
But yeah, the conversations that we would have were spectacular because he would desperately try to convince me of the QAnon stuff. And I kept my reactions would range from like asking him certain questions that I know was going to tie him in knots or just,
I know who you're talking about now.
Yes. And so it would be either that, like I'd be asking him very specific questions to like show him the illogical bent of his thoughts or just yelling at him, yelling at him and just like, how are you this stupid? How are you this gullible to fall for this?
We tried to start a podcast with him.
Yeah.
About what you're talking about right now.
Exactly. Because I mean, honestly, the rage spirals that I would fall into were nothing if not entertaining because like I can only take so much stupidity before I'm like not willing to play with it anymore. I am going to because at first, if I encounter somebody that's like either that red pilled or that down the ideological rabbit hole, the first reaction I have is like, oh, I want to have some fun with this, right? So I just ask like poking and prodding questions to like get them to explain their positions and go down those thought experiment paths. And then if I get bored with it, or I get like if someone hits me with something so stupid that I smell it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about when you smell stupid, when someone hits you with something and your reaction is this, like that. Like that's what I call smelling stupid, when it's so virulent that you smell it. So like when that happens, it goes into just I'm gonna chide you and just yell at you and just trust me, on the phone several times I dressed him down because he kept saying. I remember one time he's like, "Well, that's what they want." And I was like, "Who are they?" Like, you need to describe to me who they are. Like I would lose my shit with this guy. All that to say, it was because of 4chan. Like he was on those message boards, and I'm just like, it's real, man. Q is real. I'm like, dude, no, Q is some guy in a darkened room in front of his computer screen. That it's not some guy, some intelligence operative that's in the know and he's just spilling state secrets. Do you know what happens to people who spill state secrets? Look at the guy that got arrested for throwing stuff up on a Discord channel. Like let's put this in perspective, Brad. Let's put this in perspective. The dumbass that put top secret military information on a Discord server to show off to his people about his security clearance and how much he knew was arrested and detained for weeks, right? He violated the same laws that our illustrious former president did. And he did almost the same thing. We got Trump on audio, like waving a document around. Like, I used to classify like that, right? This guy violated the same laws. He was in jail for weeks. Whereas that orange prick just, went to a restaurant after his indictment. But like that's what happens to people that spill state secrets. They don't go to 4chan and keep putting stuff out. That's not how that works. I eagerly await the QAnon people to hit this stream. Please. Please. I need some entertainment tonight. Come on. Let's go. All that to say, I'm probably going to get off Twitter.
Yeah. I've been off Twitter since Elon.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Is it?
It's bad. And there's no the engagement's crap because nobody sees, unless I, throw my $8 towards Daddy Elon. No one sees it. No one sees it. No one engage. Like it's occasionally it gets to some places, but not often. So yeah, I think I'm done with it. It's not what it used to be. There used to be like a really solid, community around that, and it's just not that anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hesitant to go to Threads. Like I know people are raving about Threads, and Zuckerberg bothers me for an entirely set of reasons other than Daddy Elon. Entirely separate set of reasons. He doesn't look human. Like I'm not one of those people that like subscribes to the reptilian conspiracy theory, but Zuckerberg makes me question it.
Crab people. Like, subterranean crab people.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, he just like there's just something about him that just he's a lizard. I'm telling you, he's a lizard. Just something about him doesn't look right. Just doesn't look right. He's got a face for radio. It took a minute there. It took a second to hit you, didn't it?
No, I've heard that before. I watched Evolution. I know that one.
All right, dude. Enough dragon billionaires. As much as I love doing that,
I was about to say, but it's like our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it's what killed all of my engagement on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, Twitter sucks, and I shot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like, what is it?
Andor.
Andor,
because we stand or.
God,
I'm not letting it go. It was a bad pun, and I stick with it.
God.
So okay, dude, let's get into that. We're 24 fucking minutes in, and we've been jaw jacking about absolutely nothing. So let's get into Andor.
Okay.
All right. So this series. What was your first impression? I want to get your first impression on it. Like, what were your thoughts when you first watched it? And I mean, like, let's go broad view. Let's go like the whole episodes, all the arcs, everything.
Well, I mean, like when I first started watching it, I already knew what Cassian was like before, not before Rogue One, but like what he was like before he kind of had like some kind of hope rekindled in him. I mean, you see him like shoot a dude just because he broke his foot.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. Which he does
Um,
again in the first episode of the
Yes,
series.
he does.
Within the first 10 minutes, he caps some guy.
Yes. So I mean, you kind of know he's gonna be rough around the edges.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I feel it took a lot of the turns that I thought it would.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. The Andor, the first viewing was rough for me.
Was it?
Right? It was, and it wasn't because of the quality of the show, right? That's not in question. The quality of the show is not in question.
No.
That show, it gave me, it elicited the same response as Rogue One did, where it was like, oh no, this is definitely Star Wars, but this is different. Like, we're watching something different. Like, do you remember seeing Rogue One in theaters?
Yeah.
You know, that was the first, non-Skywalker Star Wars movie to ever come out, right?
Yep.
And like, I remember, I think it was 10 minutes into the movie. 10 minutes, I was like, oh no, this is something different. Like, it's still Star Wars. It still has that Star Wars kind of thing, but it's different. And Andor was very much the same. But it was a rough watch for me because Star Wars has always had a way of like kind of reflecting society back to us, Obviously the original trilogy was made around the Nixon era in Vietnam, and there's shades of that to it. The prequels were obviously during the Bush administration and that kind of period, so there's shades of that. Again, Star Wars has always been political, but Andor, this series was so, instead of being like a subtle, tip of the hat towards what's going on, this was a brick to the face of what is going on and reflecting in our own society. And because of that, it was a little difficult at first because I've always associated Star Wars with pure escapism, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't watch the Clone Wars because I want, some high-minded take on something that we're dealing with currently. I watch it so I don't have to think about that stuff for a little bit. So with Andor, I was watching it and I was enjoying it, but at the same time, it kept like things that I keep having to think about on the daily are just thrown right back in my face. And I'm like, oh God,
how dare you make me think about life?
I'm telling you. And like, granted, I have said this before, that the function of art is to hold a mirror up to our faces and let us see the kind of the uglier sides if we have to. But I guess at that point in time when Andor first premiered, I just wanted something to escape to.
Yeah.
And
Andor came out, it was rough.
It was because I was trying to escape into something, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I looked at the band of rebels with Nemec and all them, and I'm like, are we gonna have to do that one day? Are we gonna have to do this? Everything up to the riot at Marva's funeral and all that. I'm like, is that gonna happen to us one day? Is that gonna happen soon? Like, are we gonna have to do this? Like, I'm having a hard enough time just going to work, man. An insurrection is just a lot to ask from me right now. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. And it's the thing that made the series a little hard to digest at first, but it's also the thing that I love about it so much. Yeah. Right? Because, again, Star Wars is always kind of like tipped its hat towards current events. This is just like, there you go. Like,
well, I mean, what do you expect from a show that it's life in the Empire?
For real.
It's, it's life under the Empire.
For real. Yeah. And that's very much what it is. And I think at the time, I thought to myself, like, oh, this is an accurate representation of what it feels like to have the noose of fascism completely around your neck, and it's just incrementally tightening, right? Like, this is how I thought about it. Season 1 of The Bad Batch, that was a representation of what it's like when the noose of fascism is being put around your head, right? This is the incremental steps until it gets around your neck. Andor, that thing's around there and it's tightening, right?
Yeah.
And you're just, it's like you're just holding on, right?
Yeah.
And I value it for what it brings to the table and what it brings to the conversation, but at the same time, I didn't watch it again in preparation for this show. Right? Not only because I'm neck deep in a Young Indiana Jones Chronicles thing, not only because of that, but because I didn't have the mental energy to dive back into Andor again, because as amazing as that series can be, right? And I'm talking from writing to casting to acting. I mean, like literally that show is firing on all cylinders, and there's moments that genuinely take my breath away.
Yeah.
It's also a heavy mental strain to dip into that show again, right?
Yes, it is.
Right? Like,
I'm trying to see when season 3 comes out of Bad Batch, by the way.
Oh, season 3 probably next year.
Oh.
Bad Batch is one of those sleeper shows, man. Like it crawled up, it crept up on me. And season 2 absolutely broke me.
No, it's been confirmed.
Yeah, it's
and it'll be the last season.
Yeah, that's and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like Andor, of course, is only going to get 2 seasons, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with these shows telling their stories and then moving on. But again, it's also Star Wars, and they're never quite done.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can never be quite done because there's always you can always have characters from one show come in and show themselves in another.
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is going to be Rebels season 5.
Waiting for this. Oh my gosh, I have 1 more month to wait, Kevin.
Just a few more weeks, buddy. Just a few more weeks.
Too long.
And that's honestly, and not to get away from Andor too much because we're going to go back to it, but I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka because I do think it's going to have that Star Wars escapism, that high adventure.
Space whales.
Oh,
it's all about the Purgles, my man.
Give me Purgle sabotaging starships.
Yes. I want a heroic ride-in. I want to hear AC/DC Thunderstruck playing as a herd of Purgle just come in from hyperspace and start flying through Star Destroyers with Ezra just riding the biggest one.
Oh yeah,
pointing. It's charge.
Oh, that'd be great. And again, I mean, I'm gonna. It's gonna be very difficult to wait until Ahsoka is done to review it because I think it's going to be special. I think it's going to be just again, here we go back to Andor. Andor was special. Yeah. It was a very special show because it was Star Wars.
When it takes off, it takes off.
I mean, but even the moments where it takes its time.
Oh right?
Yeah. And I go back to Narkina 5, the prison that Cassian was in.
Yes,
with the impeccable Andy Serkis, Kino Loy, he survived. I'm saying it right now. He survived. Kino Loy survived. Yeah, you cannot break my heart at the end of that episode. No Way Out or One Way Out. You cannot break my heart with him going, I can't swim. You cannot break my heart like that. Andor, you better give me some hope. Give me some damn hope. Kino Loy survived. Mostly because I want to see Andy Serkis back in Star Wars because everything he does is golden. Yeah, I want to see him back in Star Wars because everything he does is golden. And those 2 episodes specifically, the Narkina 5 thing was a real heavy experience because of course within that episode of One Way Out, you get that amazing monologue by Luthen. What have I sacrificed? Everything. Burn my life for a sunrise I'll never see. That was. I don't think there's another monologue in Star Wars that gets anywhere close to that. I genuinely don't. I mean, maybe actually, you know what? Maybe Andy Serkis's dialogue.
I'm going through yeah, Andy Serkis had a really good monologue.
In the same episode, man. Those 2 moments are, and I didn't put it together for a while, but there's a reason why there's those 2 monologues in the show. Because to me, and this is my interpretation of it, is those 2 monologues capture the essence of the determination it takes to rebel, right?
Yeah.
When you're rebelling against a power like that, the amount of will and determination you need to see it through and what you're going to sacrifice to see it through. I mean, Luthen said, he's living this double life and he's adopting the tactics of the Empire he's trying to destroy. He has to use the tools of his enemy to fight them. He's selling his soul to see that brighter, to give someone else that brighter day. And Kino Loy's given this monologue because he might die. Like he could very well die in the attempt of escape, right?
Yeah.
That's no small thing. They're both demonstrating that level of sacrifice and that level of commitment and the will and determination. And you could even say the same with Marva with her final send-off monologue, which makes me, I have to ask the question. You heard about what the original line was, because Marva says, "Fight the Empire."
Mm-hmm.
In Andor, right? You know what the
Mm-hmm.
original line was, right?
It's a F the Empire, wasn't it?
Fuck the Empire. Yeah. What would you have thought if you're watching this show, the season finale, and you hear a character in Star Wars say, "Fuck the Empire"? What would you have thought? I need to know.
That'd been awesome. Like,
you think
so? Like I've been on a kick lately, like with TikTok. I've sent you a couple where it's like, PG-13, you're allowed one F-bomb. And then it's like if you were to pick anywhere in name movie here, like what would it be? And then I think I sent you all the Lord of the Rings ones that I found where it's Merry and Pippin going back and forth with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I could love those.
Okay. So you'd be cool with it. It wouldn't bother.
Oh, absolutely. I'd encourage it. It's like that's a great line.
How often surprise you?
Like in all of the Star Wars, like we've heard, like I don't think we've ever heard someone like outright say like something negative against the Empire, other than like everyone rallies like we need to fight the Empire and their injustice and all that. Right. But like I'm just talking about someone just sitting there and be like, "Fuck the Empire."
I might surprise you with this.
What?
But I wouldn't have been into it.
Why?
Because it just doesn't fit within Star Wars. And I say that as a person that has used that word liberally, right? Look at any of the episodes. It is a noun, verb, adjective. It's everything I need it to be.
What if they found like a Star Wars like universe substitute for the F word?
I think they do. I think they have one. It's called Criffin.
But like Criff,
But again, it would have the thing about that, if I would have heard Marva say "fuck the Empire," it would have taken me out of that moment. It would have taken me out of the moment, right? I'm glad they got rid of it because that speech and that whole scene,
the fight the Empire,
yes, because the setup to that scene, the setup to that moment is this series of perfectly executed story beats that crescendos in her speech, and then that kind of burst of civil disobedience and civil unrest and righteous action. If they dropped a "fuck the Empire," I'd have been like, oh man, it would have taken me out of that moment, because I remember watching the season finale for the first time, and I was like, damn, like this is like maximum RPM storytelling. I mean, this is Leadfoot storytelling. They are firing on all cylinders with this, and it's so brilliantly executed. Something like that would have been like, whoa, it would have hit me out of
we kind of would have knocked you out of the moment. That's fair.
Yeah. Now, would I have respected that move? Yeah, because like that's a baller move, man. If you go to Lucasfilm and you're like, yeah, we're dropping an F-bomb, and they're like, well, no, you're not. Like, yeah, we are, and you're able to get them to acquiesce. That is a baller move. Like that's some.
I want to see the look on George Lucas's face. It was like if he was like, "Well, how are you going to use the F-bomb?" I just want someone to be like, "The Empire," and I want to see Lucas's face is like, fair.
I don't think he would care.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Printing money. I don't think he cares about a lot.
I don't say that disparagingly. I just think that George Lucas he's accepted the fact that it's not his baby anymore. He gave it away, I mean,
I wouldn't call it giveaway. $2.4 billion on giveaway.
I don't think he's not as concerned with Star Wars as some of the YouTube crowd would want you to believe. He is not that concerned with it, man. This guy's on to different projects. Lucas has had for a long time fuck you money. He's just had fuck you money for so long that he doesn't really worry about all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on some level he would have respected Andor. I honestly, though, I think it might have been too. It's definitely not George Lucas's style,
No.
right? It's definitely not his style. You know, Lucas has that. He's not so in your face with his messaging. He
Mhm.
kind of cloaks it in that high adventure stuff, and he's got a way of like not sneaking it in there, but tucking it away. You know,
Yeah.
Andor is very overt,
Yes.
very very overt, but that's kind of its charm to me. That's kind of its charm now. You know?
Well, then I mean, it's ironic that like you have all these characters that are very like out in the open and like known by the Empire and like known in the conflict, but then like you get these characters that are like these spies and these brigands and these outlaws that are like not really in the spotlight, but they are fighting.
Yeah.
And like it's always like their methods are always so much more in your face than like anything else.
Well, yeah, because what you get from the Rebel Alliance in the original trilogy is it's a lot of like,
Let's
it's
fight
a lot.
fair.
Well, yeah,
Well, ish.
it's asymmetric, but you don't get a
Yeah.
lot of the.
You can tell they're the good guys.
Yeah, it's very black and white, with the original trilogy. It's like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. That's the way it is, right?
It's impossible, even for a computer.
Yeah, but with Andor, you get such a ground level look at the rebellion, and it's not as clean. As
You can see like you can see the setting in which Saw Gerrera would be a like. You can understand how Saw Gerrera became Saw Gerrera without watching Clone Wars. If you just watch Andor.
Yeah. I mean, well, can we talk about Saw Gerrera for a second? Because Forrest Whitaker is getting some mileage out of that character.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that Saw just pops up and stuff.
Saw's a good character. Like,
yeah,
you have all these like peacekeeping leaders of the rebellion who are like political leaders.
Yeah.
Like you never really like in the original trilogy, you never, and even in like some of the prequels, you never see a rebel leader who is willing to go to the extremes that the Empire does in order to get stuff done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got competing characters even in Andor. You got that little glimpse of Saw, and he's obviously running an operation where he's been engaging the Empire for years now.
Yeah.
Right.
Ever since they came about.
And then you got Mon Mothma, who is funding things, who is trying to get money to the rebellion. She's also trying to maintain her image in the Senate. She's walking this tightrope, right? And there's everything in that show that centers around Mon Mothma. The only word that comes to mind for me is claustrophobic. It's very claustrophobic because it's a character who is always trying to keep the walls from closing in on her, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, not only with her actions within the rebellion and then in the Senate, it's also her home life is really claustrophobic as well. She's got this like admittedly dick bag husband. Like, oh God, I want to punch that guy in the face. I want to punch him in the face so bad, right? Like, what a disconnected, awful human being that is. And then she has like very little connection with her daughter. She's struggling with that. So this is a woman who is like, again, she's walking this tightrope, and she's constantly afraid that the Empire is going to find her out. And then she's getting into bed with like shady individuals from Chandrilla. Like, there's a lot of like claustrophobic stuff with that character.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Luthen, except Luthen's he's walking a similar tightrope, but he's just willing to push the envelope further to further the goals.
Yeah.
Like, it's again, the way they handled the characters in the show was so damn intriguing, and it's so multifaceted and layered. The more you sit and think about it, the more you peel it back and you're like, damn, I didn't think about it that the first time,
Oh yeah.
Even I can't remember what planet, but the rebels that Cassian gets planted with by Luthen or Luthen, geez, gets planted by Luthen, and even those characters have their own kind of complex stories going on.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting. I mean, that was a really interesting series of episodes leading up to that heist. Right?
Yeah.
because you had characters you didn't know if you could trust. You know, you had those things going, and then you had those pompous Imperial bastards.
Aren't they all? All
No, but this
Imperial
guy,
bastards are pompous.
no, but this governor,
I
that
know.
that was he a governor or a moff? I don't know what he was, but
I want to say he was a governor. I don't think because the moffs are the military leaders.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was a governor.
I'm pretty sure he was just a governor.
Yeah, like when he was all nervous and sweating because he had been taken captive, I was like, nah, man, shoot him. Nah, shoot the guy.
That's what I was screaming at. Like when I watched Clone Wars, that's what I scream when they fucking captured Newt Gunray. I'm like, shoot him, shoot him.
Like, yeah, no, I wouldn't shed a tear for that governor.
You need to like grab him, put him halfway through a ray shield, and then turn it on.
Yeah. But then again, that sequence broke my heart too because Nemec died. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I will watch that entire series just to get to Nemec's speech at the end. You know, his manifesto.
Yeah,
because it's so. Again, that was a haunting moment. Haunting because everything in that manifesto, every line that part of the series, it made me think of like, it brought me back to reality. It's like, oh man, we're gonna have to fight soon. like because like, oh man, like again, Andor hit a little too close to home. It really did. It really, really did. What else? What else can we get into?
B2.
Oh, be still my beating heart, B2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that droid broke my heart. Like when Marva died, and he's like, "Can I stay with you? Can you stay here with me?" Like, and I'm just like, you know what? When the AI takes over and the machines rise, can we just be friends?
I know,
because I would hang out with B2. Like I would hang out with B2. You know, if a droid was like, "Can you just stay here with me?" Yes, I can. I absolutely can.
Absolutely, buddy.
We'll have a slumber party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll watch Hollows all night. I promise.
I forget, dude. And don't hate me for this. We saw K2, didn't we?
Nope, not yet. K2 is not.
We saw the same models. Like we saw K2 droids.
Oh yeah. When Cassian was arrested on that beach planet, just for being a dude.
Yeah,
just for being a guy. Again, that's another scene that hit way too close to home. How many times have we seen cops abusing their authority and roughing people up and arresting people for nothing? And then what do they do in Star Wars? They give us that exact moment, and it's just like, ouch. I was trying to not see this stuff today, Star Wars.
Yeah.
But again, that's what makes it so damn powerful, right? But yeah, we did. Yeah. We did see the Imperial security droids there.
That's right.
Like K2. But I think K2 comes up in season 2. I think they did say that.
Cool.
Because season 2, I think there's going to be years between some of the episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Season 2 ends right before Rogue One begins. So it's going to be like that nice story of Cassian Andor just kind of there. But we're not getting season 2 till like 2025.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, something like this takes a long time. Like it took them a while to come out with this first season.
Yeah, it may be even longer with the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get into the ISB stuff.
Yeah, we did see a lot of that.
That's Deidre is another character walking a tightrope, but for an entirely different set of circumstances. For Deidre, it's ambition. She's walking this tightrope because she's working in the ISB, which is I'm sure it's not the best environment to work in, and here she is trying to move her way up the ranks and catch rebels and stuff. Deidre, that's a bootlicker if I ever saw one. It's one of those characters you love to hate, right? Like Deidre as a character is really captivating in the sense of like it's almost morose watching her do her thing, but when she gets like stomped on by the crowd and like she has that moment of panic where she's like, oh god, part of me was like, good, be scared, oh wait, I'm sorry, Deidre's not the biggest bootlicker. Cyril Cyril is the biggest bootlicker in that show.
Oh my god, I hated that.
I'm
guy.
sure the gentleman who plays him is a fine chap. I'm sure he is.
His character, though.
But oh god, man, do you have a punchable face? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a delightful human being.
Like, even like just the first. That's just the first time you see him and like what he's what he's trying to do and everything. I'm just like, it's like I get you're just trying to do your job, but God, you're annoying.
You know what his character reminded me of in the first couple episodes? Because he's working for a corporation.
Well, yeah.
Right? He's a corporate security guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this guy reminds me of loss prevention at a Walmart. Like, don't you steal that $5 shirt? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I was working loss prevention for Walmart, I would give people stuff to steal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, you want this? Don't worry, they write it off every year.
That's why we don't. That's why we don't work loss prevention at Walmart, though, Kevin.
That's true. That's true. Because I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I worked loss prevention at a Ross Dress for Less, and I barely cared. I barely cared because they're like, oh well, you're supposed to prevent people from stealing. How? Well, can I go tell them something? No. Cool. I don't like confrontation anyway. Can I do anything? You can stand there. Sick. At some point,
because they don't want to be sued.
Exactly. So I'm like, just take it. Just take it. Do you think that you taking that $12 pair of jeans is going to hurt this corporation? No. Loot all you want. That's why they have insurance. Like, but that's Cyril. Cyril is he's a loss prevention guy that's hopped up on his own sense of authority, you know? And like, you'll note he went to work for a corporate security force. Like, if you were a real true believer, you would have gone into the empire. Why didn't you, Cyril? Why?
Just take 5 minutes to crap on Cyril.
I will. That character, I don't care how much cereal he got to eat. I don't care if his mom sucks. His mom sucks. But like, no, you deserve that sucky mom, and you deserve whatever. I hope every time Cyril sneezes, he shits a little, just a tiny nugget, and that's it. Okay. All right. So we've got about 8 minutes left here.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in season 2?
Well, more other than K2.
Oh yeah, we need to have Alan Tudyk back. Bring Alan Tudyk back.
I want that sweet, dry humor boy. I mean, honestly, like it's just like the espionage of it all.
Yes.
Like the level of espionage to like that goes into this whole thing, because I mean, it's a different side of the war, and it's not like open fields and lasers going everywhere. It's it's a lot of like back alley deals and backstabbing. Yeah. It's I don't want to say it's more interesting, but it's a different kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, that tracks. When I think about what I want, I don't know if I really want anything. I don't know if I really want anything out of this series in the future. I think I just want, you know what I really want?
It not to hit so close to home.
It's going to.
Yes, it is.
I've just accepted that. I've accepted that it's going to be a rough experience.
I feel like in season 2 they should include a ship that goes into a black hole and implodes. And it has like 3 Imperial moths on it.
You heard it here first, Tony Gilroy. Get on it. Maybe have some very wealthy, high up Imperials wanting to check out some space wreck near a black hole, and they want to go.
They want to go see some Purg.
That'd be great. No, better yet, they go check out this shipwreck, this like wrecked old like ship from like the old Republic, and it's near a black hole, and a Purgle comes out of hyperspace and just tail whips them into it. Like, yes. Hey, Lucasfilm, we'll write that scene. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it for you. It'd be great. No, what I want more than anything else is I want people to stop saying like, this is what Star Wars should be. Like,
Oh God.
I got so sick of that. Like I don't I love Andor for what it is. I don't want the rest of Star Wars to feel like it.
Yeah.
Right. I like the fact that they can do these different projects with different tones, right?
Yeah. I mean, with the characters that you have in the Star Wars universe, you're able to do that.
Exactly.
That's
like,
why
I mean, that's
have
why
Clone War. It's Clone Wars, Rebels, and what was it? What's
you got a lot, dude.
Well, no. What's the cartoon one? The one that's
Tales of the Jedi.
No.
Visions.
No. It's the one where it's
Bad Batch.
No. It's the one where they fly ships and they're just on one planet.
Oh, Resistance.
Yeah.
How did I forget Resistance? I'm a bad fan. But yeah, that's why I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka in a couple of weeks, because I feel like it's going to have that quintessential high adventure Star Wars escapism aspect to it, as well as being, heavy, and it's gonna add to the lore, and it's gonna be great.
I feel like Sabine needs to put, like, I know we're gonna have Sabine, I know we're gonna have Hera, I know we're gonna have Chopper. Someone needs to put a call in and get Zeb from his outpost in the middle of nowhere
at a Delphi. Yeah.
They need to get his help.
I can almost guarantee you Zeb is going to make an appearance.
Yes.
I can almost guarantee you. I mean, the only thing I'll be disappointed about is if there's no mention of Kanan.
Oh,
I know he's dead, but just like,
if Hera's in it, there's going to be mention of Kanan.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see Jason Syndulla too.
Yeah. Now, are we going to get a point where we can possibly see a Kanan Force ghost?
No.
Damn it.
No. Well, I mean, because Kanan...
I mean, even like a disembodied voice, though.
We did.
Other than in Rise of Skywalker.
Possibly. Maybe. That's if Freddie Prinze Jr. is even open to doing it again. I think he's gone on the record saying like he's good and done with Star Wars. So, it's not something he's interested in doing, which is fine. But, that one is going to be another solid one, I think. It's going to be just another solid Star Wars outing. Yeah. So, yeah. That's it, folks. That's it. Yeah. We did it. We managed to get through Andor without...
Episode 99.
Oh, man. Yeah. You know what, dude? Oh, we missed an opportunity.
What?
Episode 99 should have been Bad Batch Season 2 for Clone Force 99.
Yeah.
I like how I thought
instead we've got fucking Standor.
I stand by my pun. I regret nothing.
You stand by Standor?
I regret nothing. I apologize for nothing.
You could have made a sand pun and stuck it to Anakin a little bit, at least.
It's so played out.
Sandor.
It's so played out, the Anakin sand thing. It's like the Anakin slaughters children thing. Like, oh my god, oh look, the youngling Slayer 9000. Like, find some new material, guys. Come on. Anywho, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, we're gonna have to do the shameless plugging. If you watch the stream later, hit the like button. Give us a subscribe if you're so inclined. It just helps us build the channel that we've been doing for 6 years and done such a bang up job of building. If you're listening to this later on any of the podcast platforms that we're on, give us a like, give us a review. And if nothing else, we will be back 2 Saturdays from now to go into our episode 100.
The 22nd.
Oh, goodness. I will be out of town, so it'll be the next week.
29th.
Yeah, the 29th.
July 29th.
Yeah, that's a quick last-minute schedule change that happened right now. So, yeah, July 29th. Join us for episode 100.
Yeah.
All right, Brad. You ready to land this bird?
I'm ready to land this bird.
All right, ready? And a one, and a two, and a three. Later,
Later,
bitches!